Now I'm getting the feeling that actually it was Hamish and White working together in some capacity. Wait. They would have had to have locked the door. Which means they were lined up over there. That's why there's all the detergent to clear up the alkaloid, because there was a chance they would have missed it because it dropped into the ventilation somehow. I don't know, I'm putting up postulates out there, though I'm not sure how probable that would have worked. How well that would have worked, or practical that would be. Miss White. What were you doing on the day of Mr. Dunn's death?
Can you tell me what Mr. Dunn was doing upon the day of his death?
I can, but there is nothing very special to say. I was in the laboratory when I saw Mr. Dunn heading towards me. Tuesday is the day of his weekly visit. It was supposed to be at 9, but he was 10 minutes late, as usual.
And then?
Well, he came in to say good morning. Then I saw him spend 2 or 3 minutes by the plants outside the laboratory. After that, he ran out in the direction of the nursery, where Mr. Hamish was working. He was always in a rush during the inspection, you see. I would pity anyone who stood in his way.
And what time did he die? Do you know?
And that was the last time you saw him?
That's not what you asked.
Yes. I stayed in the laboratory until 20 minutes to 11, when I heard the cries of Albert and Mr. Hamish from the large glass house. I joined them as soon as I could, for I knew that something must be very wrong.
What exactly were you doing in the laboratory?
I was recording an experiment for my thesis. I only stopped my work once when Mr. Hamish visited me briefly around 10 o'clock.
Your records?
You say you were recording an experiment when the tragedy occurred. Might I listen to the roll?
Certainly. Please do. You will find it in the laboratory. It is number 320.
Thank you, miss.
Some time later. Oh dear.
Everyone has gone, Holmes. The way is clear.
Right. Inhaling the spores and escaping the room. Okay, this hasn't been done very well, has it? So he tries to escape. Fairly simplistic there.
When Montague Dunn was standing close by the plants, the caterpillars were released and caused the deadly spores to activate. Panicking, and likely already half asphyxiated, Montague Dunn started back and knocked over the bust. He rushed to the door, but it was locked. He had to force it open with his shoulder. We already know the outcome. Montague Dunn collapsed and died, not far from the pool. Well, it is time to perform our experiments on the ventilation system.
Okay, so they did drop it through the ventilation system. Right, so I want to actually quickly have a look at 320, see if we can find this. Can I come through here? I know we're going the wrong way around to the ventilation system, but I want to see if we can head back to the laboratory and find 320. Still sunny, so I'm not sure why they've left, but yeah. She says it would be around here, 320, but alas it is not. Ah, 320.
Here it is.
Then let's try using it.
These plants, classified as shrubs or
This recording seems very long. It is unnecessary to listen to all of it. Miss White was in the laboratory, as she told us.
Okay, so maybe she didn't do it then. Frustrating. Because Actually, that's... No. Because yeah, there's no other note for Hamish. Find a use for the caterpillars. Apparently there's something else we can do with them. Of course, put them into the ventilation system for this experiment. There we go. I know what I'm doing. But how did she activate the ventilation system then? Unless they were just dropped in there, and it was just a matter of him opening it up and going, oh, activating it.
First of all, I need to visit the Colonial Collection Room to see how those caterpillars dropped onto the deadly plants.
Oh, I've got to go back to the shaft and put the caterpillars in there. Okay. Would have been helpful if you'd said that rather than we need to do this experiment on the ventilation system. Through the arid section. Anything investigative there? No. Okay. Right, so.
The caterpillars could only fall from the ventilation duct.
Yes.
Our caterpillars are in place. I'll activate the ventilation system so that they fall down. Watson, stay here and observe.
All right, Holmes.
Ventilation system, what can I say about that? Oh, that's just like... Ah, here's a hint. You can... Ventilation system. Right. But then how would you deposit the alkaloid? Or would that only... Or would that be... Or is that only necessary so insofar as activating it and it won't deactivate for a while? Okay, so that's just telling me where the ventilation system goes. Stop turning yourself around, Dragonster. Here we are.
Before starting the engine,
Power.
the power is on.
Start
The
it.
engine cannot be started.
So switch that off.
The engine has started.
And now on.
The ventilation system is working.
Nothing much I can do at this point. We're just running back. You don't need Watson there. You could have just seen if the caterpillars had then fallen through. No, you'd have to check to see that if they worked with the ventilation. I see. So this is not some kind of random experiment, is it? Have they fallen through?
Now we need to see if we can activate the fans from Mr. Hamish's and Albert's space.
Right, of course. Thank you. Or indeed from the laboratory. Those are important questions. So Albert would be Albert's office would be here. Ah, is that what the window's for?
From here, we are unable to see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room. This is one of the out...
Oh,
Excellent. This ventilation fan is working. Let us see if I can activate the other one.
okay, that's the point, isn't it? So this is Mr. Hamish's area. At least here it is. Ah! Everything's so wiggly and windy for no reason. So here...
We can see the interior of the Colonial Collection Room from this window. This is one of the outlets of the ventilation system.
So, there's Watson.
Perfect. Now I just need to find Watson to check the result.
There he is.
It works perfectly, Holmes. Bravo. Now, if you could just help me to get rid of these caterpillars.
Perfect. Now we know how the murder of Montague Dunn was carried out. By activating both Albert's and Mr. Hamish's fans.
But only from Mr. Hamish's workplace would it be possible to see when Montague Dunn entered the Colonial Collection Room.
That's the principal problem with this whole thing. Hamish's opportunity. Martin Hamish had the opportunity to stimulate the deadly plants in the Colonial Collection Room. As a biologist, he would have understood the technicality of how to do this. You see, That's the thing, is... There's no other evidence, is there? We've hit everything, have we? Just find out who killed him. So Hamish must have done it then. That's the only way this worked, that this whole thing works. So the game is pointing me in one direction. Because I can't remove that. So then we have to say that, although, yes, she's got the experience, the knowledge, she hasn't got the experience. So then this says... Hamish is guilty. He had the opportunity to steal the Divine Syndicate's plants and stimulate them from his workplace, directly after he had locked Montague Dunn inside the Colonial Collection Room. Arrest him. Oh! That's not your standard thing, is it? Well, we're going to have to try it. Try and effect the arrest of Martin Hamish. That's the wrong button.
Let's go to Scotland Yard.
This is different than what we'd normally do. No choice on absolve or condemn, so I'm guessing there's something more to it. Very interesting. I'm still not sure he did it, though I understand the principle behind it. His office has got the easiest access to seeing where everyone is. But if anyone could go there, then anyone would. Then anyone could have gone in there. So, where's Lestrade's office? Is that this one? Inspector Lestrade.
Inspector, I believe that Martin Hamish is guilty of the murder of Montague Dunn.
Aha! I knew it. I'll send a letter round to arrest him.
Very good. I shall wait to hear from you.
Okay. Sometime later. This is the thing is, I'm sure this case is going to last a little bit longer, because we've not had a choice on this. It's just, he did it. Ta 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 ta. Yes. You're loading and I don't know where we're going, is the thing. I'm a little bit worried. So... I don't think he did it. Is the thing.
Inspector, I came here as quickly as I could.
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
What do you mean?
Martin Hamish is in the large glass house. There's no need to hurry.
Right. Yeah, there's not much else to do other than just find out who killed him. So we may as well go in and find him. He's the only one here now, isn't he? Oh.
My God!
Yes, we found him like that.
Hence the no need to hurry.
Around with the ventilation system didn't go unnoticed. Mr. Hamish realised that we knew.
Inspector, could you arrange the body, please? I should like to examine it.
At reserve. At reserve? Does that mean go back to Scotland Yard, or... I'm confused. Oh, here it is.
The mark around the neck is very visible. He died instantly.
He dropped. Interesting. Life has become a living hell. I find it unbearable. Dunn deserved to die, but I cannot forgive myself for having his blood upon my hands. We Hamishes seem to have always fallen victim to our circumstance, and I find myself to be no exception. I must atone, and I shall do so, here and now. Farewell.
Holmes, his left shoe is unique. This anomaly is often a characteristic of...
A club foot. Bravo, Watson. That is the key element of this case.
Is it? Hamish's confession. Clubfoot. What does that give us the option of? Martin Hamish was unable to run due to the tibial torsion on his clubfoot. Therefore, we should find out if he had sufficient time to lock the door of the colonial collection room and activate the ventilation system. Did he have an accomplice? Discuss with Lestrade the possible impact of new clues found on the body of Martin Hamish. Right. I keep pressing tab to get out of that.
Something about this rings very oddly.
Is it because he's
Why do
flashing?
you say that, Mr. Holmes?
Why? Because of Mr. Hamish's club foot. Oh, I deserve to be kicked from here to Charing Cross. I should have noticed it.
But, Mr. Holmes, I can't see why.
No, I don't suppose you do. You must recall that Mr. Dunn was locked inside the Colonial Collection Room by the murderer. If it was Mr. Hamish, he would have had to run up to his workplace to trigger the fan situated above it, taking into consideration the condition of his foot.
Well, it is still possible.
Perhaps, but it is rather strange that such a person as Mr. Hamish decided to base his plan on the speed of his gait.
You mean to say that somebody helped him?
So the suicide is questionable?
Correct. Mr. Hamish accuses only himself in his letter, and so the investigation stops.
Possibly an accomplice, then? That idea had not occurred to me, Mr. Holmes.
I have another idea, Inspector. Thanks to the testimony that we have collected, we are able to rebuild the events as they took place that day.
With a timeline, such as we did in the Jack the Ripper case.
Precisely.
Oh, that's one of the other games, isn't it?